Let's talk about it. So I'm going to talk about it. So this is what really happened with the Tyson's and Francis fight. So we all witnessed Francis get knocked out cold in 4 minutes by Anthony Joshua. He got knocked down. He got put out flatline, and you could have counted to fucking 1 million. He was never about to get up. And most of you guys are probably wondering, like, how that happened. What was the situation? Why did Tyson not be able to fucking kill shot Francis in such an easy way? And it's pretty simple. Anthony Joshua was just simply a better animal. See, what people forget about fighting is there an element known as the animal factor, which is your athletic ability, which is how fast you are, your hand-eye coordination, speed, agility, endurance, strength, and memory and pattern recognition. And although Tyson Fury is quite the boxer, he lacks in like strength, speed, agility, and he has pretty good endurance and all this other stuff. But he's not the same animal as Anthony Joshua. So once again, styles make fights. And so when we're looking at Francis versus Joshua, when we're looking at the animal factor, they're not much different. Like I really like if we say Francis is probably like a class athlete. AJ is probably like an A minus class athlete, if not better. So when you combine that with the fact with the experience and boxing know-how and boxing technical knowledge, because once again, Anthony Joshua was a Golden Gloves boxer. He was an Olympic boxer. So he has a wealth of experience as far as boxing. Not to say Tyson Fury doesn't have a wealth of experience as far as a boxer, but you got to add in the fact about the animal factor. And so the animal factor, when it comes to sports, it can pretty much mitigate a lot of your other abilities, no matter how technical, how good you are. If you're extremely slow, extremely not coordinated, extremely unfast, doesn't matter how good you are at soccer or basketball or anything like that. If a guy's just that much better of an athlete than you, he can kind of make up for all the ground that he's not good at. A la LeBron James. Like LeBron James, don't get me wrong, he's a talented basketball player in a lot of things, but he's very, very simple when it comes to his game because he's just that much better as an athlete. He's 6'8", 250 fucking pounds. He can move, he can run, he's speed, he has agility, he has jumps. So he doesn't have to be as good technically as like a Damian Lillard or a Steph Curry at basketball because he has all these physical gifts. Same thing applies to Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua might not be as clever and as slick as a boxer as a Tyson Fury or a Usyk, which is why he got beat by Usyk so badly and got beat by Andy Ruiz. But his ability as an athlete is probably bar none. I don't think there's a better athlete in boxing than Anthony Joshua at the heavyweight division. The man's carved of steel. He's an athletic specimen. And he was just gifted in all those particular ways. Now, when we look at the Francis and the Tyson fight, just by looking at the background on my screen, Tyson Fury is not much of an athlete. I mean, he's a fighter. He's a fighter, definitely a fighter. But athletic-wise, you probably couldn't put him on basketball. You probably wouldn't do that well. You couldn't put him in tennis, soccer, any other sport. He probably would not be that well. And because boxing doesn't really draw in the best athletes, he relatively can cruise to most fights and beat most people. And I'm almost willing to bet if we have Fury versus Joshua in a fight, I still might take Fury over Joshua because if he can storm the weather in the first like couple rounds, he'll just outbox him, outthink him, and outclever him, and then pretty much last the rest of the fight. Now, when we come to a guy like Francis is a very straightforward fighter because he's an MMA guy. He doesn't have the wealth of experience in boxing. So basically his thing is like go attack, go land a shot. Now, Tyson Fury did not have that same ability because, once again, he's not really a power puncher. He's more of a decision guy. He's going to just out-technique you, out-box you. And he'll either cruise to a victory or he'll overwhelm you through endurance and just tap you enough times where eventually you'll fall. But that's not the same case for Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua, although a technical boxer, he is a pretty good boxer. He's not more so on the technique. He's more of like, I can kind of just finish you in one shot. So if we watch the Joshua fight with Francis, we look at him. He's jabbing the body, getting the measure, getting the distance. If I can touch you once, I can touch you twice. If I can touch you twice, I can touch you three times. If I touch you three times, I could probably knock you out in the fourth. And that's essentially what he did to Francis. Francis, although a strong fighter, good animal, good specimen, he really had no chance against Joshua in hindsight simply because of the athletic nature of Joshua. So that's kind of what we learned. Now, the real thing we're going to learn if this is a fluke is how does Fury do against Usyk? So if Fury's able to dust up Usyk and pretty much out technique him and outlast him. And I think he should because he's a much bigger boxer and they're both technical boxers in that degree. I think Fury should have no chance with Usyk, and this sets up the AJ match, which will be a very interesting thing because I still think that Fury is the top heavyweight of our division, of our era. Because once again, just the size, technique, and all that stuff, he's not going to knock you out. He can knock you out, but he's going to overwhelm you. He doesn't have one-shot kill. He never really demonstrated that he had one-shot kill. And that's why France was able to stalk him, walk him down, because he wasn't scared of getting friggin' one-shotted. But Joshua, like we said, he was able to one-shot him because simply is a better athlete. And that's kind of what we learned about this whole boxing thing. So boxing might not be fake, but like they say, styles make fights, and the different styles is going to give you a better fight. And what we saw was a style matchup nightmare for Francis.